And as you are uplifted in this particular moment, just feel the vibrational frequency of love and celebration moving through your body temple and all of the subtle bodies and the energy field called your chakras. And be aware that as you're being lifted up in this frequency and in this vibration, that's not denying anything that's happening in the world of effects, circumstances, the world of phenomena. It is you rising up into a greater awareness of who and what you really are, that you may bring your essential self, your real self, through your thought, your word, and your deeds into this expression of the phenomenal world. Just for those here in the sanctuary and those who are beaming in from all around the globe, just look around the room for a moment and look around the room, and I want you to look for beauty. I want you to look for joy. I want you to look for loveliness in all of the beings that are here. Look for it. Let your mind go on a hunt for that which is an emanation of the presence of God, so that you're beginning to train your attention to look for the power and the presence and the love of God everywhere, even in each other. So that as spiritual beings having a human incarnation, you're becoming more and more awake and more aware, and it's becoming active in you, that this grand spirit of the living one that is everywhere, that is omnipresent, is becoming active through and as you. Always remember, God can only do for you what God can do through you and ultimately as you. So as I love to teach, we are here to participate in our own unfolding as a deliberate act of transformation. Our theme of the month is in substance. Somebody say what the theme of the month is. Remind me. Oh, there it is. I got it. I'm listening like you. Our theme of the month is your prime directive, in which we are opening ourselves up to come under the aegis of having no other gods before the power and the presence and the love of God. This theme and what's happening in our community in Altadena, Los Angeles, Santa Monica, Malibu, Pacific Palisades, and even that which is happening around the world in terms of devastation of wars and rumors of wars and tsunamis and droughts and things of that particular nature, reminds us, and it closely intersects, of course, with the fact that we're celebrating this weekend the birth of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who carried the vibrational frequency of opening ourselves up to a great vision, a great dream of what is called the beloved community, in which he spoke very passionately about, at that time, the three evils of our society: materialism, gross militarism, and the sickness of racism. Today, he would probably add sexism and homophobia to be a part of those particular evils. And so on the intersection of all that's happening in the world of phenomena, and the intersection of his birthday, it allows us to come to an understanding and a deep and spiritual practice that our prime directive is to have no other gods, celebrity, being famous, materialism, pseudo-power, no other gods before the power and the presence and the love of God. And from that prime directive, our desire is to be, as a part of our spiritual community's intentional statement, to be a beloved, to be a beneficial presence on the planet, this time in human history and beyond. We must let nothing get in the way of that particular prime directive. We begin to understand through our particular topic that the future of now and proxy power, it means a lot of great things. It means, first of all, that when we deal with our sacred meditation, our sacred visioning, our sacred spiritual practice of affirmative prayer, we're never seeking, of course, to try to tell God what to do. We're not giving God any suggestions. We're not begging or pleading anything from this grand presence that is never in absence. We're seeking to come into alignment with what God is. We're seeking to come into vibrational alignment with the peace, with the love, with the harmony, with the abundance, with the wellness, with the wholeness, the well-being. We're seeking to come into harmony with that as a spiritual realization, so that we begin to break free from the matrix of separation that hypnotizes so many people on this planet. The future of now means the now is breaking free from the constraints of an anxious future, a regretful past, an anxious present, into the eternal now moment in which carries a field of infinite potential, which means in the eternal the eternal now, there is room for transformation. There is room for unfoldment. It is not confined by chronological experiences. The freedom and the future of now means as we have spiritual realization, the now gets to express through us in time and space. We think, we speak, we act as a field of love and beauty intelligence on this planet that impacts the planet at this time in human history. And as I was saying in the early morning way of meditation service, it allows us to walk with one foot in the eternal, timeless, eternal, immortal, love and the peace and the beauty and intelligence, which is real, and to walk with another foot in time, that is bringing these qualities in time through thought and word and action. So we never deny what's happening on the planet, but we're bringing something from our eternal nature to the planet so that as the image and likeness of God, as a portal of the divine, we're making a radical difference through vibration and frequency so that we are doing our parts to be midwives and openings for this divine, beloved community that wants to manifest on earth as it is in the highest heaven, which keeps reminding us that this presence that is vast and limitless can only operate through us. So no one is waiting for anyone to return. No one is waiting for God to do anything. If God could wait, God would be waiting for us to wake up to what's already real so that we can be a divine fiat of it on earth as it is in the highest heaven. The responsibility is on us. And so as we're beginning to understand what proxy power means, we take on the teachings of Jesus the Christ that said in substance, as I am lifted up, I draw all unto me, which means twofold. It means one, each and every being is an extension of ourself. There is no other in the divine. The sense of otherness comes from radical hypnotism, a radical hijacking of the mind that allows people to see life through a compartment of separation, thus birthing the sickness of racism and bigotry and homophobia and Islamophobia and anti-Semitism. These are sicknesses that capture the mind and allow people to see people from a sense of separation. Through our spiritual practice, we not only break free from that dynamic stranglehold of a lie trying to become active through our ego, but it allows us to also, when we break free from that dynamic, to be a vibrational ripple. As we are lifted up, we draw all sentient beings into a higher frequency of more good than we could possibly imagine, so that the triple evils of materialism and militarism and the sickness of racism, homophobia, sexism, and all of the isms that seem to come forward from a sense of separation begin to be eradicated. As we're not fighting against that, we are lifting our attention up into a rarefied atmosphere of absolute truth. So on this particular weekend, when we're celebrating the life of probably the most magnificent American citizen that ever was born on the planet, we're carrying a vibrational frequency of remembering our prime directive, to know the presence of God, to put nothing in front of that, and in our own way, in our own language, in our own description, bringing this beloved community to the planet. The future of now is a play on words saying that the eternal now is timeless. And as it becomes active within us, it extends itself through us on earth so that which is chronological experience has no power over us. And in that dynamic field, creativity and transformation can take place. So that you and I, we never ask for who the bell tolls. It tolls for each and every one of us. All the beings that have now moving through devastation of loss of homes and belongings right here in this particular area, and all the beings around the globe who are moving through all kinds of devastating experiences. For us, it is a call to rise in vibration, to rise in frequency, to rise in prayer, to have a spiritual realization that we are one with every one of these beings. All of us are shot from the central flame of divine luminosity. Separation is an illusion. Time and space is a delusion. And so when we rise up in this frequency, and I'm not saying this is easy. When we see the pictures of war, we see the pictures of kids being killed, we see the picture of houses being burned down, we see the pictures of and individuals' articulation and narrative around all of that, it can weigh us down vibrationally. But individuals that are on a path of unfoldment and are participating in their own unfoldment, we have work to do. And our work is to rise up in the present so that it becomes active within us. Our foot is in the eternal. I am one with God. I'm one with love. I'm one with peace. I'm one with joy. I'm one with kindness and compassion. I'm one with generosity and a foot in time. I get to say, I get to think, I get to do something, bringing the eternal into time. So I'm not helpless. I'm not forlorn. I'm not bowled over. I stand with all of my brothers and sisters going through whatever they're going and growing through. But as Jesus said, as I'm lifted up, I draw all unto me. That is the teaching. As I am lifted up, he said, in substance, in the world, there will be trials and tribulations. But then he went on to say, but be of good cheer, because I have overcome that world. We are here to overcome that world, not to deny the experience, not to deny the calamity, the devastation, the loss of life, not to deny that, but to be lifted up so that we can make a difference. You can't make a difference by getting in the vibrational hole. That's not what compassion is. Sympathy is, I feel what you feel. Empathy is, I feel for you. Compassion is, it's a different question. Compassion is, I have love and I ask, how can I serve? How can I alleviate suffering? It's a different vibration. When you bring eternal into time, compassion asks a different question. It is, how can I serve? And then everyone can't do everything, but everyone can do something. And you ask, what is it that's mine to do that bridges the gap from my egoic perception that I'm separate from one suffering? As Mohandas K. Gandhi reminded us, he said before he would do anything, he would ask himself, with what I'm about to do, how is it going to affect the most porous individual on the planet that kept him available to being not separate from anyone on the planet, not raising the status of celebrity or being famous or people who have money, but how is what I'm about to do going to affect the individual that has the least on the planet? Now, we have to have a dose of that on a regular basis, because if you get hypnotized by the news, you'll actually think that a celebrity is more important than you. You'll think that someone who has amassed a lot of money is more important than you, and they should run the world or something like that. But you're breaking free from that miasma, that illusion, and coming to understanding that the government must be on the shoulders of the presence of God, and that must be on the shoulders of citizens who are waking up to their divinity, waking up to the intelligence that's within them. There is no one, have no other God before the God presence that's within you. It must become active in you through your prayer, not begging and beseeching, but having a realization of your oneness with the present. It must become active within you through your visioning, catching what you're meant to be and allowing it to express. It must become active through you in your meditation, paying undistractable to that which is real, that which is forever, and it becomes active within you. Without that, you are walking in the world, subject to everyone else's opinion and points of view. Your mind is easily hijacked by the news reel and the news media with an agenda for you that's not empowerment, not necessarily you being healthy, not necessarily you being a sovereign being, not necessarily for you being a creator. Its agenda is for you to be a consumer, but not a creator. And so at this time in human history, where there's a speeding up of the vibrational frequency on the planet is awake, inviting us to come to a higher order of being. You are breaking free from the matrix of separation and stepping into the vibrational frequency of your oneness with God. That's called being a celebrant of the divine presence. You're celebrating your oneness with God. You're celebrating your oneness with love and peace and joy and wisdom and harmony. That takes work, because the heaviness of the world of appearances has a gravitational pull that will pull the unconscious people into all manner of separation and blame and all manner of shame and things of that particular nature. Not you, not here, not now. What is our theme? We're living from a prime directive. I want to know the presence of God more than anything. Not just believe in it, not just have a hypothesis, a belief system, a theory. I want to know this presence that's closer than my breathing and nearer than my hands and feet, more than anything at all. I want to know this, you see. That's my prime directive. Have no other gods before God. So when we hear the vibrational teachings of Dr. King that warned us about materialism, militarism, sickness of racism, and all the other isms rising up, he was warning us to break free from the hypnotic spell that's being broadcast through all governments primarily to get you to feel separate from your brothers and sisters all around the world under a pseudo-patriotism that would have you lauding over someone because of their national background, because of their religious experience, because of the color of their skin, because of the language that they speak. Don't let that happen. You're to wake up and understand the future of now, the future of the extension of the timeless dimension of ultimate reality is us loving so deeply, carrying the frequency of peace so powerfully, carrying the frequency of compassion so magnificently that we break free from the hypnotic spell of separation, and we absolutely feel and see that all beings are our brothers and sisters, and we're one, emanating from the same source of all creation. Now we have compassion on our younger brothers and sisters, those who have gotten caught and brainwashed by Islamophobia and anti-Semitism and racism and homophobia and all manner of isms that would separate. We know they're just our younger brothers and sisters. So it's not evil versus good. It's awake and unawake. And so then we see our younger brothers and sisters, those who have been hypnotized, seduced, provoked, intimidated into a very limited viewpoint of reality. But we hear Dr. King on this holiday weekend saying in substance, I do have a dream. I have a dream about all beings holding hands together, vibrating as one, and building a community of love and of harmony and wholeness. That is not far off. Every one of us that breaks free from the matrix becomes an ambassador of that frequency. We're living in that world now, even before it totally manifests everywhere. And catch this. This presence, call it what you will, everywhere, untouched by time, experience, projections, and people's thoughts and people's experience. It's untouched by that. It's real. Everything is in it. And every time we have an insight, our awareness expands in this unified field of God consciousness. So that which is untouched by the limited perception always wins. But it needs us to reveal itself in time and space. And so there's more and more people breaking free from the matrix. More and more people know that when you go to the news, or you go to the internet, or you go to your social media, it's full of disinformation. More and more people know this. So it's more of an entertainment rather than a newsreel. And more people are tuning in, turning in to tune in to that which is real. Now, what happens when the tipping point happens? And there's more of us tuning in to that which is real. Then time stops. And that which has produced lack, limitation, negativity, scarcity, doubt, worry begins to dissolve. And a whole new world emerges through us. Citizens awaken on the planet. That would be you. Please don't look to your governments. Don't look to potentates and dictators and presidents. Look to that which is within you. Vibrate in the frequency of that with each other. And you don't even have an idea of how powerful you are. You don't even know that the energy moving through you right now, just right now, can fuel every city. It's enough energy within your physical body to energize every city on the planet. That's how much power is within you. When it is set free from the limited point of view of I'm merely human. I'm merely the son and daughter of my parents. And you begin to wake up. I'm an emanation of the Most High presence. You will no longer bow to pseudo powers. You will only bow to the presence of God that's within you. Remember, not a guy in the sky. I know there's a lot of people have grown through a lot of religious abuse. That when you hear the word God, you just get scared. No, the presence that's never in absence. It's not about being in fear. You become in awe of it. I didn't know it was this beautiful. This lovely. I didn't know. I heard about you through the hearing of my ears, but now I see through my spiritual eye that this presence is everywhere. Woo! Prime directive. The future of now. Extension of insight into thought, word, and deed. I'll just say this one more time. I want you to hear this. Within now, you're not confined by chronological experiences. And within now, there is a field of infinite potential which gives you the privilege and the responsibility to for transformation and creativity. The word, you don't have to wait for a condition in the world for you to be you. That condition is in you. You are the ripe condition for transformation, creativity, and wholeness. Let us say that together. I am the ripe condition for my own wholeness, creativity, transformation, and extension of love on this planet. I want you to feel that now, because the mind is hijacked by the world of conditions. People believe that conditions determine their circumstance and their destiny. No, you determine your own inner condition through prayer, which allows for you to participate in your own unfolding, you becoming more you. You are more powerful than you think you are. And we're rising up as a community in this time in human history to be a vibrational, resonant field of the best that life has to offer through all of us. Oh my God. Take a breath here. Release. Inhale. Release. Once again, inhale. Sustain at the apex. Feel what it feels like to have all of your needs met. Feel what it feels like to be safe. Feels what it feels like to be in peace, in love, and in joy. Release. Now let's do this one more again. Inhale. Let your imagination be enchanted to feel your oneness with all the beings who are going through the experience of devastation. Right here in the Los Angeles area, that includes all the places that I mentioned, and all around the world where there is imperialistic and colonial wars, people being devastated. Feel your oneness with these beings. Excuse me. Let your frequency be of love and compassion. Release. Let your entire consciousness surround. Let yourself see that the entire planet is in your field of awareness. Your body might be on the planet, but your consciousness embraces the planet. All sentient beings, all beings with consciousness. Even the animal life, the plant life, the trees, the forests, the rivers and the lakes and the oceans are all within our field of awareness right now. We're breaking free from the matrix of egoic separation. We are one with all of this, and all of this is in our field. Feel this with me right now. We're breaking free from the matrix of separation. As we are being lifted up in this expanded awareness, we are vibrationally drawing, just as the earth is doing, we're drawing all into this higher frequency, including ourselves when we forget. Allow yourself to now send your mind on a hunt for something to be grateful for. Maybe your mind got snagged by fear or hate or unforgiveness or judgment or shame or blame. Maybe it got snagged. It's all right. You're going to unsnag now. We don't want to be in stagnation. No. Just allow yourself. Ooh, yes. All of the world as it appears to be. And this planet is in our field of awareness. And as we're rising up, all beings, we're drawing all beings to remember their real nature. Not merely the product of parents' visions for themselves or fantasies. No. We are emanations of God itself. Divine intelligence runs through us. Divine love runs through us. Divine peace, infinite joy. As we're lifted up in this rarefied atmosphere, in this field of infinite potential, beyond chronological experiences, we have the power to be transformed by the renewing of our mind, not to be conformed to the world of appearances, but to be transformed by the inner renewal of our own mind. So we find something to be grateful for right now so we can frequently and vibrate at that frequency. And it is here, in this field of gratitude, no longer blinded by circumstances, that we can recognize this presence with every breath that we take. The beating of our heart is God shining through us. The life of God, our super soul self, moving through us. Oh, this light is the same light that lights up every being that comes to the planet. This is our identity, luminosity. And it's here that a vibrational word can be spoken. Not just words, not just conversations, not just chatting, but a word of God. A vibrational frequency of wholeness and wellness and well-being. I have the privilege and the honor to speak the word for each and every one of us. The divine and compelling right action takes place in our life right now. I get to speak the word for each and every one of us, that the feeling tone of all of our needs met supersedes any other emotion. That the feeling tone of our oneness with the presence that leads to the oneness of all people supersedes any egoic perception of separation, any dogmas of separation. Oh, we're breaking free now. We're breaking free. We're rising up with a great readiness that we are built for times like this. We're built for this time. This is why we're here. For all this time of great flux and transformation and the diminishment of that which has been systemic in all systems that are breaking down right in front of us. There's a new life emerging. And that new life cannot emerge without the destruction of an old life. Oh, the scales are being wiped free from our eyes. Old skin is being left behind. And we're rising up and we're seeing, not with eyes, but with that which created the eyes, our consciousness. All of life is for us. Say, life is for me. Life is for me. Life is for me. The universe is for me. Oh, as we're feeling that now, we're buoyed up and we draw all into this frequency. Oh, I have the privilege and the honor to speak the word for divine and perfect health and wholeness for each and every one of us, that we may be the fit instruments to bring forth the frequency of love on this planet. Unconditional agape love. That we may be strong enough to carry that vibration. For that vibration is not neutral. It's not neutral. It's powerful. But we have to be strong enough to carry it. All needs met. Safety and guidance in a language and in a way that we can understand. All of this is flowing through us right now. We give birth to a government upon the shoulders of the presence, so that all countries move from trying to be number one to segueing into being one with the one that's in all. Oh, what an evolution. What an evolution. Probably not happened through the nation states of governments, which are the last bastion of ego. But it happens through the citizens that are awakening. This is mysticism at its best. God oneness at its best. Awake! thou that sleepest, arise from the dead, that the Christ's presence may give you life. The awakened Buddha mind. Oh, feel it. Oh, help them. Take a second, Jason, just help them feel it.
I was born to be a giver in the spirit, oh, and just like the spirit I've been a giving ever since. I've spent a long time loving, and now I know the change has come, and so it is. Then I go to Agape, 'cause they operate on higher ground. And everybody there, they really love it when you're around. I've spent a long time loving, and I know the change has come, and so it is.
That's great. It's great. We're spending a long time loving, as the great and mighty change and transformation is happening right now. Glory to greater glory. As we continue to turn within for a moment, we're going to bathe these individuals as we're lifted up into this rarefied atmosphere of absolute truth.